good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you're watching this from. I am coming to you from the Serrano Consultant Advocate Service Incorporated. We are a nonprofit and we are providing our services free for our customers, our clients. And if you have questions or are interested, please email me. My website is serranoadvocate.com, and my email address is tkphilli@gmail.com. Later in the month, we are going to be having a Q&A session. So please, if you have questions, please email me, and I will have the answers for you with the regards to for the answers for you to have on the Q&A. Excuse me, my mind went blank for a minute. Today I'm going to come to you because of the hidden costs that are involved with raising a child with special needs. Having a child with special needs comes with not only the physical realm of the child, the emotional surroundings of the parents, the family, the brothers, the sisters, but the cost. I'm looking at financial today, and financial can come in many different forms. I'm going to talk to you about 3 forms today, and you will understand each aspect that comes in form, and hopefully somebody will hear this that maybe understands, and maybe some things can be done about it. I don't think we talk about it enough as educators in the field of special education, and we don't always have the resources to give parents what they need to meet the financial needs regarding raising a child with special needs. First of all, point 1 is the Department of Economic Security, DES. They have available different funds for children with special needs. You can get respite care. You can get, when your child is little, you can get a family IFSP, which is a family, individual family educational program that comes through that area, and you can get maybe some income-based resources, for example, food stamps or whatever else you may need. So that would be an area that I would consider looking at to start with. I'm going to talk to you about 3 things today. So I could just give you some resources right up front. There's also some areas you can search the web for maybe some economic funds regarding raising a child with special needs. I'm coming to you again with 3 points I would like to make, and one of them is a personal story. My granddaughter Shelby was born with having seizures, and she has epilepsy, and she was about a day and a half old when she started having the seizures. She was with us in a room, and next thing you know, she was in ICU. The next few months after that, she was recommended to get on an IFSP, and we were lucky in the fact that we had a developmental specialist, an OT, a PT, and a speech language person come to the house. That stopped when she was 5 years old because it went on then to the schools. But prior to that, my daughter worked as a teacher, and my son-in-law worked, and aunts and uncles worked, but I happened to be home, and therefore was able to take her to doctor appointments. One day, I was taking her to a doctor appointment. Now, we live in a very rural area, and so it takes us about 45 minutes to an hour to get to a doctor appointment in the Phoenix area. So I put Shelby in a car seat, locked her all in, drove up to the appointment, pulled in the parking garage, and I was making sure I was going to get there on time. Shelby was about 4 months old, and I was responsible to make sure she got to the doctor. And actually, it was an OT appointment because the parents wanted more OT, which the insurance did not cover. There again, you will see that raising a child with special needs, your speech and language, your PT, your OT, often insurance does not cover. So those are expenses, and they can run anywhere from $150 per session, and maybe you have 3 sessions a week. So you're looking at a chunk of change. So those are some. It can go higher than that even, and it can cost you. But anyway, long story short, I accidentally left my keys in the vehicle. It was one of those vehicles where you still popped down the to lock the door, and it didn't have a key fob. So it was a while back. It was about, how old is she, 14? It was about 13 years ago, 14 years ago. So it was more like 13 years ago. So I accidentally locked my granddaughter in the car. And it was summertime in Phoenix. Even though we were in a parking garage, I panicked. I started to scream. Well, thankfully, a Good Samaritan came over and offered to help. And he said, well, the only way we're going to get in is if we wait for a police officer or I break a window. Well, I felt strong enough that a window needed to be broken. I needed to get my granddaughter out of there. After all, I was responsible for her, and it was a very upsetting time for myself. So we broke a window. We were able to get her out of the vehicle. Expense. We had to buy a new window for our vehicle. We had to pay for the doctor appointment. We ended up going. They ended up taking us, but had we been late, there would have been a $50 fee. Let alone the $150 we paid for the session. So, and again, she was 2 days a week. Well, they couldn't afford to also take off the day to go to work because they had to pay $300 a week just in sessions. So that just gives you an idea of one of the expenses that is brought forth with having a child with special needs. Recently, my grandson needed a advocate from a children's hospital in the Chicago area, and her fees were $400 an hour, and there was a great expense. It came with great results, but there again, insurance doesn't cover that. So there are hidden expenses just in simple things to get those coverages that you need as a parent of a special needs child. That's why I chose to become an advocate for families that need it, or that have questions, or that's why I become a nonprofit, because I know some things. I'm not perfect, but I do know some things, and maybe I can help out, because I've seen this happen within my own family, and it is very, very difficult. Here's another point. schools get more funding from the federal government for children with special needs who are in inclusion. That does not include children that cannot be a part of inclusion. Those children that need special services or in self-contained classes. So there is some expense, not to you personally, but maybe making sure you have a teacher, qualified, highly qualified teacher in those classrooms. Here in Arizona, there's a teacher shortage. And having that extra expense, oftentimes in other states, not so much here in Arizona, but in other states, these things are not provided for because the federal government isn't giving enough money in that area. And then what about gas? What about gas? I know here where we live and traveling either to Tucson, we're right in the middle between Tucson and Phoenix. Either way we go is an hour, 45 minutes to an hour or more, depending on where the hospital is, depending on where the doctor is. We've got gas expenses. Yes, you can take it off on your taxes, but that doesn't give you the cash to put in your car to get there. So yes, you can take those items off on your taxes, but does it really provide for you at the moment? Maybe there's an emergency appointment that needs to be made and you need to go in a hurry, which affects all children, obviously, but the children with special needs, there might be a feeding need. There might be which often involves G-tubes. There may be a child with Down syndrome who needs extra support. Those kind of things. Just gas. And then let's say your appointment's at 1 or 2 in the afternoon or 11 in the morning. Unless you pack a lunch, you also need to eat. So there's that expense that goes with it. And then any out of expenses that like co-pays that your insurance does not cover. So sometimes it can cost $100 just to go to a doctor appointment. And that is, well, that's it for me today. By the end of the month, we'll be having a Q&A. Please contact me as soon as you can with questions or concerns. I will also attend an IEP meeting via Zoom upon your request. I have any 504 questions, accommodations that maybe go with a 504. Please let me know at tkphilly@gmail.com. My website is serranoadvocate.com, and please contact us. Thank you, and have a great day.